Hello, my name is Looseknaillz. I am a musician producer for PE Entertainment. Let me say that again. A musician producer for PE Entertainment. That means that I compose music from a variety of instruments to compose an instrumental, not a beat. Let me tell you my story. Well, it came into being from variations of other names and a long path of being a musician. Out here in different bands and just being a musician in sessions and studios. So loose meaning eclectic to me. That's my definition of loose. And then nails meaning stability. That's my definition of nails and how I'm using Looseknaillz. So that's my industry name. So it means eclectic and stability, which means you'll get a variety of music from me, a variety of sounds, of composements, of instrumentals with stability, which means I plan to be here. I've been here 30 years plus decreeing this music and trying to get it into I would say, a perspective where it could be understood, accepted, felt, listened to, enjoyed. All of this got started maybe in like 1973, Northwest Washington, D.C. Actually, before then, was born from my dad, my mom, and my dad was a musician. He did singing and choreography and things like that. So of course, I was born in and carrying his torch, and I know I was carrying his torch. So I was like a different type of kid coming up, whatever. Didn't do regular things kids did, but my mom took and one day and gave me a bunch of pots and gave me some wooden spoons and she said, here, you seem to always want to beat on things, you're just beating all the time. I was always beating my hands, always petting my hands on something, and as long as I was doing that was like keeping my attention, and it kept me from getting into other things. So she would sit me up in the corner and give me these pots and give me these wooden ladles, and I would beat on them. And once she did that, that's what I wanted to do as a child, not knowing which the cortexes of my brain hadn't developed that much to know actually what I was doing, but it felt good to me, and she could see that it kept me occupied, kept me out of trouble, kept me from coming in the kitchen, getting burned on the stove, things like that, her and my dad. So my dad, also took and looked at it too and said, wow, maybe he's a musician. And my mom said maybe he is. So they kept that pot thing going for a while. Then in 1973, may have been about 5-6 years old. That's when I got introduced to a Jackson 5 drum set, which was a paper drum set, a nice drum set to me. And that Christmas is when my dad first bought me my first drum set. It was a Jackson 5 drum set, 1973. And I got that drum set and I seen it. I was shocked. I was like, wow, look at this, and I'm 5 or 6 years old, and I go over there, I'm like, Dad, is this mine? He's like, yeah, it's yours. I jump on it, I play and I play and I play, and before you know it was me and him, I guess, in that living room when he did that, but everybody started to come out the back room and come into the front room, because I guess I was holding a beat, so I remember that's kind of when it all started. 1973, yeah. A Jackson 5 drum set, 1973. Looseknaillz is a deity decreeing music. What I mean by is, I'm decreeing meaning subjecting, pronouncing, producing. And what I mean by deity is that, I'm part God. Everybody has a little God in them, here, there, and I'm just proclaiming mine in music because what I can do in music. To reference that to people of what I'm talking about, let's say Ryan Leslie, for instance. Ryan Leslie is a deity decreeing music because he can play various of instruments and compose from those instruments to construct an instrumental. Well, I'm basically kind of like the same guy, but I'm decreeing music from my perspective, which means my music has a signature sound. I do all my own instrumentals. I play all my instruments myself. I do all my mixing, my mastering myself. So I have what you call a full sound. So when you come to Looseknaillz or P Entertainment and you hear a track and you hear an instrumental, you hear something that is composed by one person, but it sounds as if it is many. but it's actually just one person. Sounds like a full band, but it's not. It's just me. It's Looseknaillz. So a lot of work and a lot of time went into this to give me what you would call a signature sound from each and every independent, and let me say from each and every instrument that I play. I needed a signature sound on it, which composed together, which would give me a signature sound as a whole, as an instrumental when you listen to it. Let me say this, what confirmated it for me was the feeling. When I got behind the drum set, when I was playing an instrument, but let me say drums first, because that's the first instrument I started out with. The feeling that I got, the feeling that I received, that connection, how can I explain it? It's an intimacy that's like unreal. It's a high, it's a decreance, I don't know, it's a conviction, but it felt so good. When I was playing drums, whenever I was playing drums, it just felt so good. That's how I knew I had it, because it didn't matter what the next person thought. It was about how I felt from me to this instrument, from this instrument back to me. And the feeling is so great, it's unreal. It's like a high that you could never get, or you never want to come down on. Then there's this phase where you kind of like transition. You know what I mean? You just like transition right out. And it's like your immediate physical sight becomes nothing, and you somewhere else. That's when I knew that I had it. That's when I knew that I was onto something. And when I didn't play or tamper with an instrument, or play a drum set, or guitar, or bass, or keyboard, I felt like empty, felt kind of like lost, or didn't feel good. So that's when I knew I had it. So I knew that I had to play. Plus, when I was not playing, these instruments would like invade my thoughts. No matter what I was doing, my thoughts would be interrupted. You know, I could be in school, and all of a sudden, I hear this beat. Boom, 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 bing, bing, you know, rolls, and I'm like, man, you know, I'm doing this test. Why now? You know, why now? And it just had to happen now. So music was being heard from within inside for a long time, and it started to interrupt my physical life. So that's when I said, you know, it's something with this. And that's when I knew I had it, because all it mattered was me and my instruments. Me and my instrument. That's what mattered. As long as I feel good on that instrument, I knew that I had something. And it's a comfortability and a stability of thought, of spiritual connection that is so great. It is just, it's unreal. It's hard to explain it. And I have a hard time sitting here trying to explain it. But you musicians out there know what I'm talking about. When you get so set off and become so as one with this instrument, you transition out to another place. You know what I'm saying? That's when I knew I had it. Pay attention over here. Now, what you get ready to witness here is an instrumental, not a beat. Beats loop from 4/4, or maybe a 8/8 to a 4/4, or 4/4 to an 8/8 to a 16. This is live instrumentation. This is a composement, a decreeing of a variety of instruments to compose an instrumental. You with me? Okay. So, as you can see here, let me point this out. Here's track 1. This is a bass track. And if you will look closely, you will see that this bass track have different waves. Let me blow this up where you can see it. See that? This is called a stem, a bass stem. You can see where I have played this live. It's not a loop. And then you will see where it changes, because this is my chorus or my hook part, or the part people know as a chorus or hook. Then it goes into this structure, and then it comes back, and then it goes into this. That's the end. Now that's my bass. I'm going to single this track out for you can hear it, and you can hear my fingers scratch across the strings. Now that's something most of the time people may want to take out, but with Looseknaillz, you're going to get that in there because you need that authenticness to know that I have performed this. And I performed that right in my studio. So here we go. Put your ears on. Hear that? Now that's a real bass guitar being decreed, being played. Now, I'm going to stop it for a second, and I'm going to get it to this structure where it changes. Hear that? Now, it's back to the basic structure. Now, let me take this back. I'm going to shrink this stem, and that's bass guitar. But as you can see, there's a bass guitar, there's a lead guitar, there's keyboard 1, keyboard 2, and when you come down here, these are all my drum tracks. This is my foot, my snare, my hi-hat, my tom 1, tom 2 and 3, tom 4 and 5, and cymbals 1 and cymbal 2. Alright, now, over here, let me explain something else. This song was inspired to me from the passing of someone did to me, my dad, February 8th. So the song is called Pops, P-O-P-P-S-S apostrophe, as in saying, Pops! So I'm constantly calling him with this song. But it's just not for me. It's for anyone out there who has this vibe, who wants to take this and dedicate it to a loved one that they may have lost. It's an inspirational song. It's filled with plenty of feeling and vibe. And once I go through explaining each and every individual stem, where you can hear that this was performed live, and this is an instrumental, not a sample, then you will hear the whole composement and the whole instrumental at once. Okay, follow me. Okay, next track. We're going to do the lead guitar. We're going to swell this up, blow this up where you can see it. As you can see, this is the stem. This is being played. It's not a sample. Now, most of the times when samples come, there's a 4/4. One from here, from 1 to 2 is a 4 count, and then it just loops. It starts back over. This little line here, I'll start back over. But that's not the case here with Looseknaillz. This is live. So I'm going to play a little bit of this stem, and this is the guitar by itself, for you can hear it. And let me try to get it where it just about changed, for you can see that I'm playing this live. You ready? You with me? Okay, here we go. Listen to this. change within the guitar structure, but you don't see it stop. You see it's still, the cursor is still going across, which means it's being played. Now listen to this. Okay, that's enough of the lead guitar. The music business is, they say it's more business than it's music. So I would say it's 50-50. It's talent, it's business. But to a certain degree, coming from a musician, a deity to create music, it's more about the substance of the situation more than it is the business. The business kind of become secondary, or you could say it kind of run neck and neck. But if you don't have the music, you don't have the music business. What you have is this business without music business. But if you take business off, you have music. So you have music without business. So that's kind of how I would explain that. And I guess it's the people that's in music can make it kind of hard to get in, because if you don't play an instrument, if you don't play instruments, if you're not an artist, if you don't sing, if you wasn't gifted with this talent to decree it, then to me, you shouldn't be in music, because you don't know and you don't understand what it takes, what spirituality takes, what calibration it takes to compose, to do voice, or to compose or decree music from an instrument. It takes a lot. You're a different type of person. You walk the earth different. You think different. And like I say, these thoughts and this music, it interferes in everyday life. Whether you're at work, you're at home, you can be in the middle of, making love, and something will come in if you're a true musician, and it will interrupt that. So with saying that, the business in the music is good, but without the music, there's no music business. But it can be music without business. It can be, because that's what the music business is made of. You listen to the structure of the word, music business. It's not business music, it's music business. So for that, and I say for the people that's been out there decreeing music and the music for real, yeah, it's been kind of tough getting in, and especially if you're different. I'm a different type of person that decrees music. I'm a musician producer, so people like me, hard to get in. I'm a one-stop shop. You stop in my shop, you get something, a signature sound that no one can never do, they could never emulate, they couldn't imitate it, and they couldn't reproduce it. That's what you get. That's what it is when you stop in my shop. I'm decreeing music from a variety of instruments, and I don't claim to be a professional or, been to music school and a genius on that note, but I'm a spiritual decreer, a spiritual musician. So when I compose it for the vibe, the feel, the spirituality. I want to make you move. I want to make you groove. I want to make you feel this. I want this, all in your soul. And when you're not thinking about it, you singing and you swaying and you hearing this music like I hear. Because I think it's unfair for me to hear it and you don't. That's why I put it through an instrument, and I want to share it with the world. But back to the music business. It's business. It's music. But you can't have music business without music. Again, I am Looseknaillz, deity decreeing music. I am a musician, producer, and I work with PEentertainment.com out of Saxon, Texas. And I compose instrumentals, not beats. I decree beats from a drum set, but I compose instrumentals. So you can go to PEentertainment.com and check out our website. You'll see recent posted videos. Young Martyr Captain, who is our featured Billboard artist right now, we're working with him, and he is actually rapping to live music, not over it. It's a big difference. Rapping to live music is a big difference than rapping over it. You'll hear the difference once you go on the site. Also, let me give a big thanks to Diva the Voice. Dear friend of mine, great person, and you'll hear about her soon. She's a radio personality. coming from right here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And also you can hit me at looseknaillz@yahoo.com. That's my email. Or you can also hit me at Looseknaillz and search me on Facebook. Till next time, peace.